Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a bit about my last week in games. As always, we'll start with EVE Online, and I've played a fair amount of EVE Online, definitely more than average. I have been having a lot of fun just exploring. The good old exploration has been treating me very well, especially in the first half of the week. I got some seriously nice drops from 3 and 4 out of 10s that were very available, I would say. I found way more than before the Abyssal expansion, so I really do feel like there's been some competition that's moved away from exploration into Abyssal Dead Space, and so really good time, some awesome little drops. Second half of the week I had some bad luck, some worse drops, and one evening also the sites basically dried out. I went into the abyss, just did a couple of low grade abyssal sites with my passive regen Gila, extra skill book that dropped there, which I already have. So yeah, pretty damn good time exploring, doing some PvE in EVE Online, and I've also done a couple of trips to Jita to sell my blueprint copies, but also to put up some buy orders for some PI. I think there are some awesome investment opportunities there. And in other aspects as well, if you don't watch EVE Talk, just know that a lot of stuff is really low. And if you have a long enough horizon, it's a great time, I think, to take a look at your investments and be prepared, which is really my general vibe at the moment. This summer there will of course be the World of Warcraft expansion, but this is also a great time to be prepared, to try to make some ISK, to get some preparations done in EVE Online. So that's what I'm doing as well. Blueprint copy business going really well, surprisingly enough, not in the structured parts. Well, that's maybe not a surprise because we don't have anything concrete on the horizon, but the Orca blueprint copy is now selling for 25 million ISK, and normally it's half that price. So for some reason there's a lot of mining ships being built out there, and yeah, I'm definitely grabbing some nice ISK from all of that as well. I'm having a really good time in EVE Online. I also joined the mass test, which was based around changes to the missiles, mostly graphical performance wise, and it went pretty well. I personally haven't really been able to put my finger on exactly the changes, except that quite often when I would fire my missiles, you wouldn't see any of the contrails as they went towards the target, but performance was really nice. Although we didn't have that many participants in this mass test, I felt like everything was really responsive and that it worked out quite nicely. So a very good week of EVE Online for me last week. Next up we have the World of Warcraft. So again, a little bit less World of Warcraft. Obviously if you're spending more time in EVE, you don't have that much time for the World of Warcraft. So on most evenings it's just been get online, do my emissaries, maybe a couple of extra world quests as well. I do really enjoy that, to be honest, because of my follower giving me 90 extra gold for every world quest that I do. I just, grab my Drake, fly to the next one, and quite often I go through all the kill a certain boss type of quests. Those are done in like 10 seconds. Usually there's other people there as well, and so that's a very nice stream of gold that's coming in that way, and it's actually quite enjoyable. Now on a couple of evenings I did do some extra battlegrounds. One evening in particular we went for several hours playing with Vobo and Dagon, and it's been quite a nice experience. I actually managed to get a few very nice videos out of that, and all of that is basically the last chance if you want to see the really big numbers, if you want to go crazy with your artifact powers and with things like that. This is basically the last few weeks where you'll be able to do that, because soon we'll have the pre-patch, we'll have the stat squish, we'll have the changes to the talents, we'll have the changes to our artifact weapons, lots of changes coming with that pre-patch, and I will also be playing that quite actively. I am curious to see how everything stacks up. I know that some classes are suffering a little bit from the fact that Blizzard is no longer going to look at changing their current builds, which is bad for actually the Shaman, which I'm playing, although it's mostly enhancement that is suffering, and I think the Shadow Priest is having some problems as well, but we'll see. We'll try to make it work. I honestly don't feel bad about being like more of an underdog class than the Flavor of the Month class. So if I'm Elemental Shaman, it's not considered the best. Well, if I can make it work, then I think that I'm playing my class right and that I'm doing well. So it's gonna be very interesting. I'm also curious to see what kind of PvE content there will be with the pre-patch, and then of course it's gonna be the wait towards the expansion itself, where we'll get to see all of that new content. Very exciting times in World of Warcraft as well, and I look forward to a lot of that. And then for the final game of last week, I played some Diablo, fair amount, not that much. There is a new season, of course, and I started out with a Necromancer. So very first phase, of course, level your guy up to max level. I've been doing that through the bounty system because I think that it's very important that you grab those resources. And I think I ended up with something like 6 full runs of all the acts. I think it's something like that, considering the amount of resources that I grabbed out of that. Then I was max level. Never really pushed like harder difficulties to try to go faster or anything like that, because I do want to have plenty of options for Kanai's Cube. That is why I personally do go on lower difficulty settings, just to level up my character, because it's fast that way. It's not super fast on the leveling part, but it's very fast on gathering those specific resources. Then once you're level 70, the first 2 chapters of the journey, of the season journey, are definitely possible. Very quick, very smooth. Give you 4 pieces of the new set, of course, which, well, I don't like the optimal build for the set for the Necromancer, but I have this alternative that I'm using myself. It'll never get me to the higher tier rifts, but it's more fun to play for me, so that's the way I went. And that's when I had to do a little bit of grinding, but honestly, just use Kedala to grab the 2 other pieces of your set, and then you'll basically have everything you need to run straight to the rest of the season, which is the final step that I still have to do. It's, I think, a level 20 higher Greater Rift or something like that. I think there's just one thing that I have to do in order to finish the season with this Necromancer. And so at this point, once you've done it a couple of times, it's very easy to do this in like a week of Diablo, and not even playing that hardcore. I did play almost every evening for at least a couple of hours, having a specific goal, but then all of a sudden in like half an hour I was really lucky with Kedala, got both the pants and the chest, had a full set, and then I was like, alright, gonna quickly run 1 or 2 rifts with that, see how it performs. But you're so much more powerful once you have the full 6 pieces of the set, that everything else just, you just start to breeze through that. It's all about having like a little bit of HP pool, grabbing some extra levels to up your base stats, and then you're good to go. You'll have a very easy time going through the rest of the season. I might even do an extra character this time, I'm not sure, but it's been good fun. Just the Necromancer set and build that would be optimal this season are not that fun to me, so that's maybe why I look for a second character. I don't feel like doing anything more than finishing the season and then not grinding anything specifically with this Necromancer this time. We'll see how it works out. But that's been my week in games, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.